Howdy, folks. Have you ever wondered, and maybe you haven't, but you're going to start to now after I share this with you, why all the conversation around goals is about setting your goals? Have you ever heard, ever seen, ever participated in something that teaches you how to actually achieve those goals? Well, guess what? Like most things, there's a system or a process or a methodology behind actually achieving your goals once they're set. Let me give you the short Cliff Note version, the 5-minute version, hopefully, of what many times is a full-day workshop. I'll hit the highlights, and then when and if you wish to, we can drill down on a later date. Here's how you achieve your goals in a methodical, systemic way. Number one, start with your vision. Now, that's an emotion-laden and sensory-rich descriptive writing exercise. What is your life look, feel, sound, smell like in 5 or 10 years? What's that end result that all this stuff you're doing is leading you towards? That's a hard thing to do, quite frankly. I rewrite mine formally at the beginning of every new year. I review it semi-formally every quarter, and every morning I read it to myself to plant those thoughts in my brain, and every evening I do the exact same thing to let my REM sleep go to work on it. Have a vision of where it is you want to go. Now, second step is do a complete 180 on that. Understand fully what your current reality is. Do a brutally honest assessment of where you currently stand. Call it a SWOT analysis, strengths and weaknesses, opportunities, threats, all the other things that go on there. Ask your spouse. Do a 360-degree review with those around you to get an accurate and unambiguous assertion of where you're at. Once you have a very firm idea of where you are and a very firm, albeit theoretical idea of where you want to go, moving from A to B becomes a relatively straightforward exercise. Let me give you an example. A number of years ago, I was looking for a new watch strap for my watch. I phoned the store, the only store in Utah that carries that watch, and said, look, my watch strap broke, can you get me a new one? They said, fine, we'll order it and give you a call when it comes in. They called me a few weeks later and said, hey, it's in, bring your watch in, we'll give it a detail and put the strap on, etc., etc. So I went to the mall. Walk into the mall, I have no idea where, we'll call it Joe's Jewelry Shop is. What's the first thing I do? Well, I go to that map. I go to the map of the mall that says you are here, and then I find where's Joe's Jewelry Shop. Once I have the you are here and my end result, my vision, Joe's Jewelry Shop in this case, defined, how to go from here to there becomes formulaic, a piece of cake. Now, if all I have is Joe's Jewelry Shop, but I don't know where I'm at, then it doesn't matter if I go left or right or up or down or turn right at the food court or whatever the scenario is, because I don't know where I'm starting from. The course is less defined. So think of those as two bookends. You know where you want to go, you're planting that regularly in your subconscious and letting that go to work on it, and that's a powerful thing, but that's another whole subject. And you've got this unambiguous, data-based understanding of where you currently are. Great, you've now got some parameters to work within. Now, step 3, set your goals. I won't lecture you on that. There's books and tapes and seminars and podcasts and all the rest of it on that subject, other than to make it meaningful and specific and measurable and time-dependent and all those other good things that you know go with that. I joke about M&M's being the candy of those who set goals in a going place because it's talking about meaningful milestones and measurable and all those other sorts of things like that. So now you've got your goals. Set them, though, in the context of your vision. If I know I'm going from here, unambiguous, to there, planted in my subconscious, my goals need to be aligned with that. And all of a sudden, I'm setting goals in the context of where it is I said I wanted to go, rather than just random goals that just come out of the feeling du jour or this quarter's emphasis. Set your goals within the context of your vision with a full understanding of where you currently are right now. Step 4, then build your to-do lists. For me, I do that every evening for tomorrow. I do it every Sunday evening for this week. To-do lists for me are daily and weekly. Goals, incidentally, are monthly, quarterly, annually. Vision is 5-10 years. Those are the time frames. So on my yellow legal pad, I write down all the things that I have to do that will get me to my goal, which is set in the context of my vision. I do that the night before so that I'm making my plan for my benefit. Now, if you do it in the morning, you run the risk of all those emails and flashing lights and voicemails and bosses and spouses and friends and everyone else that crowds your to-do list, and you end up building a to-do list that pleases someone else and helps someone else get their vision. Set your to-do list the night before the pressure of the moment, the day or the week is on you, so that you can put the priorities on the things that you want to do to achieve your goals in alignment with your vision. And then cross them off. Now, other things will be inserted, other things will be inflicted on you. That's great. But you insert them in context of where it is you want to go. I do a yellow legal pad page per day. An interesting exercise for me is to go back and look at 90 days ago's to-do lists. And it's fascinating to me to see the things that I said I would do, that I didn't do or did do, that have no bearing whatsoever on my goals or my vision. So is it any wonder that I didn't achieve my goals because I said I'd do stuff that has no relevance to my goals? Your to-do list align with your goals, and your goals align with your vision, and you start getting stuff done. But do them the night before, do them Sunday night or whatever time you choose before that week begins. Then the fifth and final principle is track your data. Know where you're at. Keep in mind that the data you're looking to track are those things over which you have complete control. That's an aspect of a to-do list. For example, a goal would be, I want to sign up 2 new managers this month. That's a goal. It's not a to-do list. I don't have complete control over whether other people join me. They have some say in that. We're a volunteer army after all. So my to-do list would be make this many calls, send out this many emails, extend this many invitations. All the things that I've got complete control over inform my to-do list, which get me to my goal. Then, in that step 5, as I'm tracking that data, I'm learning that I'm getting better at what I do. I'm learning that maybe every 10 invitations leads to, instead of 1, now it's maybe 2 presentations. Every 2 presentations leads to 1 or 2 people joining me. You track your data for 2 reasons. Number 1, so that you know you're getting better. Not a matter of opinion. You know that you're getting more effective at extending invitations and inviting people to join you because your data indicates that. And there's nothing more motivating than a sense of progress. No guesswork, unambiguous. The other is a mathematical phenomena called reversion to the mean, which means you always come back to your average. Look at sports teams. Have a bad game, next game usually is significantly better. When you have a bad week, guess what? Reversion to the mean says next week's probably going to be better. The reverse also applies. If you have a great week, don't all of a sudden start believing your own press releases because maybe you're going to have a not so good week coming up. But the good thing is when you know your data and this reversion to the mean phenomenon occurs, you can see your average begin to improve over time. And that's really motivating because I'm getting better at what I do. And then you can reset your goals. Now, the threshold for me, I like to set my goals within my vision and file my to-do lists and go to work on them with about a 50% success rate. Now, most would say that's a complete failure. In most university courses, I would be kicked out of the course for that sort of grade. But I like that. Any higher than that, they're too easy. They're not stretching me. Any lower than that, I'm being too hard on myself. I'm not getting that intrinsic motivation from making progress and seeing it in my data. Set your vision, understand very clearly where you are, then set your goals in the context of those 2, then build your to-do list, which are the things you've got complete control over for today and this week, and then track your data so that you know what you're doing is productive. You know that what you're doing is helping you achieve your goals, which moves you forwards towards your vision. There you go. A 5 or 6 minute précis of a whole day's workshop on how to not just set your goals, I'll defer you to others on that subject, but more importantly, how to actually achieve those goals. Set your goals, do so with a process, and then set about doing those things that move you closer towards the things that you said you'd do for you.